They left you bleeding in the dirt, took everything they could and still wanted you to say thank you. They saw your wounds and called them weakness. They saw your silence and mistook it for surrender. They turned their backs, walked away from the wreckage they helped cause, and never looked back. You know what that feels like. To be left behind, discarded like a broken tool after it served its purpose, to be seen as useful until you're not, to be loved until you speak up, to be wanted until you want something for yourself. They didn't just abandon you, they buried you. They dug a shallow grave with their betrayal and tossed you in without a second thought. No prayers, no apologies, just silence. But what they forgot is that some seeds only bloom when they're buried. What they woke up wasn't weakness, it was wrath. It was fire. It was the side of you that doesn't beg, doesn't break, and doesn't forget. They thought it was over for you, that you'd stay down, that you'd rot in silence, choking on regret and loneliness. But while they were busy forgetting you, you were busy becoming. Because pain has a way of reprogramming a person. It strips you down to the raw version of yourself. No filters, no illusions, just truth. You sat in the silence long enough to hear your own voice. You stared into the mirror long enough to see past the scars. And what looked back at you wasn't a victim. It wasn't the same soul they discarded. It was something darker, something hungrier, something unbreakable. Let them look at you now. Let them see what happens when you leave the wrong one for dead. Let them face the storm they created. Because you didn't just survive, you evolved. They always said you were too sensitive, didn't they? Too emotional, too intense. They used your heart like a weapon against you. Every time you cared, they used it to control you. Every time you gave, they took until there was nothing left. And when you finally stood up for yourself, when you finally said, enough, they didn't listen. They just walked away and called you the problem. Like it was your fault for having limits. Like it was your fault for daring to feel. But what they didn't know is that the heart they tried to break turned to stone. And the tears they caused stopped flowing not because the pain ended, but because something colder took their place. Now you don't cry. You calculate. You don't explain. You execute. You don't chase. You become the thing they'll never outrun. Because when you lose everything, when your soul gets shattered and the people you trusted become ghosts, you either stay broken or you build yourself back sharper than before. And you chose to become a weapon, a masterpiece of pain forged in fire. You want to know the truth? Being left behind was the best thing that ever happened to you. Because if they didn't betray you, you wouldn't have found out who you really were. Not the version they shaped, not the one who danced for scraps of love, not the one who lowered their voice, shrank themselves, or bent backwards to be enough. But the real you, the one who doesn't ask for respect, demands it, the one who doesn't look for validation, embodies it, the one who doesn't fear the darkness, walks with it. Because once you've sat alone in the shadows, once you've had every illusion ripped away, once you've rebuilt your identity from the ashes, there's nothing left to fear. There's only the mission. And the mission now, it's not revenge. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Proving that you were always something more than what they saw. That the strength you carry isn't loud, but it's lethal. That your silence isn't emptiness. It's a storm waiting to be unleashed. Let them talk. Let them tell others how they used to know you. Let them play the role of the confused bystander. When your name echoes through rooms they're no longer invited to, they'll say you changed. They'll whisper, what happened to them? And the answer is simple. You happened to yourself. You stopped waiting for someone to come save you. You stopped expecting fairness from people who thrive on manipulation. You stopped negotiating your worth like it was a bargain. And in the stillness of abandonment, you rose. Not like a phoenix, not some poetic, graceful rebirth. You rose like a war cry, violent, real, unapologetic. Because there's a certain power that comes when you have nothing left to lose. When all the pieces of your former life have shattered. When all that's left is you, raw, untamed, and ready. And now they'll see. They'll see the version of you that doesn't flinch, that doesn't hesitate, that doesn't forgive betrayal with a smile. You'll walk past them one day, not with arrogance, but with the kind of quiet confidence that screams, "You should have killed me when you had the chance." Because they didn't just underestimate you. They woke up the part of you that doesn't sleep, the part that remembers, the part that builds in silence while they distract themselves with lies. You're not trying to be loved anymore. You're not trying to be understood. You're trying to be unforgettable. And nothing is more unforgettable than the person who rose from the grave you buried them in, wearing your betrayal like armor. Let every setback feed your hunger. Let every lie be fuel for the fire. Let every door they closed remind you that you never needed permission to begin with. You don't chase, you don't beg, you build. And when you build in silence, you don't just come back stronger. You come back unrecognizable. So keep going, keep grinding, keep rising. Because they left you for dead. Now show them what that woke up.